What is going on, guys? Predator458 here, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to a ship that we have never seen on my channel before. This is the Tier 6 Japanese cruiser, the Aoba, or however you say that in Japanese. Now, I never even got this far in CBT. I was focusing on other things, and the Furutaka turned me off of the entire Japanese cruiser line, so I never pursued it. But this time, obviously, I am. So we're going to have a look at it today. Now, this commentary is being done after the gameplay. It's post-commentary. Reason being, I did actually record live commentary for this game. I wasn't entirely happy with it. So I, binned it and thought I'd just do some post-commentary and just talk through the ship, what I think of it, kind of the mistakes I make in this video, some of which I knew I was making, like right here. I knew this wasn't, when you're engaging in Cleveland in an Aoba, you probably want to try and keep a bit of distance. You don't want to get within 10 kilometers, which is what we're going to do, because his rate of fire will just shred you if he is going to focus you down. Thankfully, he doesn't here. But as everyone kind of knows, the Furutaka was really a shit cruiser. It desperately needed some attention, which it did get in patch 0.4.1. I think it got several buffs. And a lot of people have said that has, since then, it's become a better ship. And here we try and take some sneaky shots, but unfortunately they don't manage to scooch over the mountain. But I mean, that was hopeful at best. But I'm a hopeful guy, so I often try and take those shots. But since the buff, a lot of people have said that actually Furutaka is now pretty enjoyable, and they've started to have some fun with it. So how does the Aoba compare to the Furutaka, or the Furry Taco, or whatever you want to call that thing? Well, it's a lot better. I'm not gonna deny that. At least when I played Furutaka, what crippled it was the turret traverse, the reload. There were a lot of things that really didn't help it. In Aoba, your turret traverse is much better. Your reload is much better. It's 11 seconds, which is not too bad. I mean, it's what you'd expect for 8-inch cruiser guns. I mean, a Targo is 15 seconds. Pensacola is 15 seconds, I think. A lot of them are between that 10 and 15 second mark. So this is bang on where you would expect it to be. So that's fine. I still would not say that I enjoy this ship, though. The main problem is just that you only have 6 guns. Now, same as Furutaka, you had the 6 8-inch guns, although in Furutaka that was 6 guns in 6 single turrets. Now you've got 6 guns and 3 double turrets. If you lose a turret now, you lose a third of your firepower, which I suppose is actually a weakness that I hadn't really considered of this compared to the Furutaka. But it's still 6 guns. You're going up against Cleveland's with 12 guns, and all these. Most opponents you're going to fire are going to have more guns than you, even if they are of a smaller size. I don't mind and we get our steering taken out. Japanese cruisers, they're all they all do the same bloody thing. But it's not so much the 8-inch guns that bothers me. Like when I first went from Cleveland to Pensacola in CBT. The drastic reduction in your rate of fire was a bit problematic. And I think a lot of people have found that, but, I play battleships. I'm used to, a long reload time. I've played a lot of games in the Targo, which is a 15-second reload, which is worse than, I think, a lot of other Tier 8 cruisers, but it's not so much the reload that bothers me anymore. It's just the amount of shells you can put down range. Pensacola, 8 guns when you first unlock it, which then gets upgraded to 10 guns, which is far better. The Miyoko, 10 guns. Mogami, God, you can have 15 guns on that thing if you want, if you run the 6 inches instead of the 8. But if you go to the 8 inches, again, 10 guns. So 6 is a bit of a pain, and that's part of the reason why I haven't really had much fun with this ship, because you just can't put down this overwhelming amount of firepower downrange. But you have Aoba is fast. It's maneuverable. You do also have torpedoes, 10-kilometer range, which is always nice. Unfortunately, with most Japanese cruisers, they're located quite far back, and their firing arc it's a defensive firing arc, really. You know, you can only really fire them behind your ship, so you can't use them really as an offensive weapon unless you charge at the enemy and turn to get the torpedo tubes on target. But then again, as with most other Japanese cruisers, they're rather easy to citadel. The armor isn't that great. The citadel is, very easy to hit. And that's something that the Aoba suffers from just as much as any other Japanese cruiser. And of course, if you're trying to get those torpedo tubes into position, you're going to have to expose that citadel unless you've used the terrain to your advantage. But anyway, we're putting some fire onto this enemy Cleveland. We're doing some good damage, and you can see as long as we're not being focused down, things are all right. I think that is another thing you can say with the ship is it is kind of a support cruiser like the Furutaka. You don't want to go you never want to go anywhere by yourself, but you don't want to be at like the front of the line. But I mean, you can see like things just have not gone well for this team. We've only destroyed 2. They've destroyed 2 battleships and 4 cruisers. So we're not going to win this one. But I haven't played this ship much, even though I've had it quite a while. But yeah, it's a lot of people have actually said that they really enjoyed the ship, and we get 2 citadels for 11,000. So I mean, when the guns work like that, it's fantastic. It really is. There's nothing wrong with these 8-inch guns. There is nothing wrong with them. I'm happy with their rate of fire. I'm happy with the amount of damage they can do. I just wish there was more of them, because kind of just being able to put out 6 shells every 11 seconds does not a very fun game make, in my opinion. But I mean, that's just my opinion. And a lot of people have enjoyed the ship immensely, and especially after the abomination that was Furutaka. And I might actually buy it again to look at it and see if it really has improved. But now we're going to switch over. We're going to fire the salvo of armor piercing, get a bit of lag. And that's the one thing that really bugs me, is when I do get those like lag spikes, it always throws my crosshair off. Like, the turret will be traversing, and then suddenly it'll be in the wrong spot after I get a little lag spike. But we're now switching over to high explosive. We can see right there that he has just launched torpedoes. So if we didn't know there was some on the way already, or were going to be some on the way, we now most definitely know that there are some fish in the water. So we're turning in towards him. It isn't Isokazi, so he only has on the one side. But this dodge I was particularly impressed with. We just managed to sneak straight through the middle there, fire 1 gun, 2 guns, and we managed to sink the destroyer. Now we're going to fire again. We did manage to get off some more torpedoes, but we don't have any trouble missing those. We're switching back to armor piercing for this Phoenix, something that we shouldn't have any problem citadeling if he shows us a bit of a broadside, which is exactly what he does. We do 8,000 damage. He's on 79 health. Do we fire the rear gun to finish him off? Yes, we do, and we get the kill. So now we're going to turn away from this New Mexico. Thankfully, he led us way too much. We're going to start opening up on this Kuma, but first we're going to put some fish in the water. We're going to fire our torpedo tubes, and here you can see this exactly what I'm talking about with the arc of the torpedo tubes. It's all sort of about firing them behind you in a defensive fashion. And our steering gets taken out again. We're going to fire the front 2 guns at the Kuma. We're coming under a lot of fire from the enemy. We get another citadel hit. And now after this, I was a little bit surprised, both in-game and even watching now, rewatching this footage, is how I never got another citadel on this Kuma, because he's perfectly parallel to me, flat broadside. You can see where my shells are landing. They're sort of landing exactly where they need to, but RNG is just saying no. You will not have another citadel. So it was a little bit unfortunate. But you know, what can you do? Sometimes it happens. I mean, you can see these are all landing right by and our steering's out again. So I actually, we're turning slightly to starboard towards these torpedoes when my steering got knocked out. So I actually slowed down just to make sure we didn't run into any torpedoes. And we got more coming in from the Kuma. We're on fire, but thankfully the match ends before they kill me. So not a bad round for me in the Aoba, but as I said, it's just not enough firepower. I think is my biggest problem with this ship. But you know, it's not bad at all. I mean, we still got 82 target hits. We got 6 incapacitations, destroyed 2 enemy vessels, and got 4 citadel hits for 229,000 silver, 1,500 research. We came first place on the team by 500 points. Phoenix came first, enemy team. We did 60,626 AP damage, 9,000 from high explosive. Unfortunately, no torpedo hits that much. But I mean, it's not a bad ship. It's certainly a major upgrade over the Furutako. But I don't think it's as good as Cleveland. I don't think it's particularly good fun to play. But anyway, that is just my opinion, and I've still got a long grind to get through for Miyoko, so I'm sure you'll see the ship again, and hopefully I'll start to have more fun with it, because sometimes that's just the way things work. But anyways, that is it from me. If you enjoyed, please feel free to hit the thumbs up button, and maybe consider subscribing for more World of Warships content, as well as War Thunder and a few other things that are thrown to the mix from time to time. Also, be sure to check the description for links to my Facebook and my Twitter pages, and you guys can follow me there as well if you so desire. But as I said, that is it from me. Thank you very much for stopping by. It's Predator 458 signing off, and I'll see you guys next time.